5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Offer on the Table. Once again, I'm Adam, and with me is
John.
Let's get it started. Here's a rundown of how this podcast is going to work. Every episode, we get a few topics that are current in the NBA, and those topics will be our topics of discussion. On the agenda today, we're rocking with Kevin Love signing a big deal with the Cavs, 4-year, $120 million, and another veteran signing a deal, Vince Carter, 1 year, $2.4 million, the veteran minimum with the Atlanta Hawks. So for today, we're going to start off with Kevin Love. Big deal with the Cavs, signing him, kind of their franchise player now that Mr. LeBron has left the building. What do we think about what this means for the Cavs and their intentions with the franchise?
Well, obviously, I thought it was a no-brainer that if LeBron leaves, it's time to rebuild. I don't think that Cleveland really has a chance to thrive without LeBron, but obviously they have other plans, and signing Love to this lock-in 4-year contract. I mean, we don't even know. Obviously, I think Kevin Love will still be in the league, as long as he doesn't get injured like real bad. But he's obviously there long term, and he said that. And $120 million is not something you walk away from. So I don't know. I mean, we'll get into this next, but does Kevin Love want to stay there? Obviously, yes. I don't know if he's thought this through. This is a lot of money, but I don't know if Cleveland has thought this through all the way, because if I was the GM, I don't know about you, Adam, you can say whatever you think, but if I was the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would not be signing Kevin Love. I hope Kevin Love, I say this a lot, I hope that they can prove me wrong, but I wouldn't want Kevin Love to be, especially in today's NBA, I don't think he can lead a team to success, especially not on his own. So, yeah, I don't know what the Cavs were thinking with this one, but obviously they're keeping their core together, or they're keeping one of their stars together with the rest of the team, and I think they even got Channing Frye back. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, bringing the old band back together, I guess that's special, but Kevin Love, I really don't see how this is really going to work out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Adam?
I mean, I think when you look at this roster, it's a depleted roster, without a doubt. It's not a...
Who's their second best player?
Honestly, probably Rodney Hood is the second best, I'm saying. Colin Sexton's good. I give a lot of credit to Colin Sexton. He's a talented player.
And we talked about him in our draft video, right? Episode. Maybe not. But we can give our thoughts right now. I mean, I think, like Adam, I think he shows more promise, obviously, than Trae Young. I think Colin Sexton is more low-key, which makes him more surprising. And I think that works in his favor, considering that he's not just hype, and he's not just being hyped up by all these, overrated stuff. And, I don't think he's overrated at all. So, I think Colin Sexton has the potential. I don't think he's Rookie of the Year. But he's definitely, I think he will surprise us. But still, I don't think that Kevin Love, Rodney Hood, and Colin Sexton can lead a team to over 45 wins.
Well, I think, Sexton, for him, his first challenge is winning the starting spot. Because right now, they're giving it to Jordan Clarkson, veteran. Clarkson, though, last year...
What about George Hill?
Or Hill. So that's two veterans that you have to take down, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's his first step. But he's got a lot of promise. He's a guy that can score the basketball. He's a crafty passer. Defensively, he's good. Nothing exceptional. But he's got talent, overall. So... he's a player that I feel like could develop. And when you're talking about a rebuild, you need a person to develop a franchise around.
But they're not rebuilding. That's
they are. They definitely are.
They still kept Kevin Love. That doesn't count.
Well,
you're rebuilding, especially if you're a shitty franchise like the Cavs. I don't want to keep Kevin Love.
I think
that we should trade him for picks while he's still worth it. I don't want to trade him in 4 years when he's not going to be on the Cleveland Cavaliers anymore. In 4 years, he's going to be, grabbing 4 rebounds a game. He's going to be old, and I don't want to see that I think that Cleveland is, by keeping Kevin Love for the next 4 years, and this isn't rebuilding. This doesn't count. Are they planning to trade him away then? Who's going to pay him $30 million a year?
All right, here's my take, since you rudely interrupted me. To rebuild is to take someone and build a franchise around that person. I think Colin Sexton could be a player that they could do that with. But in order to rebuild, you've got to surround him with pieces. And in my book, Kevin Love, though a veteran, is a piece that you use to surround him with. I mean, let's look at take the Warriors. I mean, I use them a lot.
So you're saying Kevin
Well,
Love...
just wait. The Warriors, you take your team, you build it, right? First you draft Steph Curry, then you draft Klay Thompson. But you bringing in other pieces. Andre Iguodala made it to the Eastern Conference Finals before he signed with the Warriors. Did you consider him like a old veteran who's gonna retire in 4 years? No.
I didn't say Kevin Love was going to retire.
No. You said 4 rebounds a game. 4 rebounds a game. That's ass.
Yeah.
That sucks. But in my book, Kevin Love is kind of like their Andre Iguodala. They just got him early because you already had him, right? So, but before he's in the background, he's behind LeBron. Now I think he has the opportunity to step into the limelight and be that player that they need him to be, potentially put in however many points need be. But you're building the team around Sexton. So if you were to trade away Love, let's be honest, this is a point guard league. So what, you're going to trade for a point guard when you already have two, one who's probably going to be washed up, George Hill, no offense, and Clarkson, who
I actually
honestly,
really like George Hill, for the record.
Clarkson had a horrible postseason. So I think you're building this team around Sexton because that's the most plausible option. You're surrounding him with veterans or other players that could contribute but aren't really doing anything yet. So I view a guy like Kyle Korver, Kevin Love, Rodney Hood. All of these guys are pieces around a guy that you can build with, like Sexton. Sexton will develop, right? He's going to, in a couple years, when you say Kevin Love's going to be averaging 4 rebounds a game, that's because Sexton might be averaging, 20 and 10. Something good, right? Like, that's a guy that you can see a franchise, like, building around. So I don't view Kevin Love as someone to ride into the future with. I view him as someone, as a piece, almost like, the horse that the person uses to ride into the future with.
But in these years, old teams don't win. Like, you only see, like, the young talent really making it out in the league. And I think that in order to do that, by trading away for picks, Kevin Love, you get more young people to surround Colin Sexton. And, you were still going to keep George Hill and, Kyle Korver. He's still going to be there. So they're the veterans that they want to, mentor the young people, the young players. But I don't know if we can move on from this topic, from what are the Cavs doing, and more into what Kevin Love was thinking about his future. Because Kevin Love, obviously signing 4 years, and is happy about that. There's a video of him, signing the papers and everything. But do you think this was the best move for his career? Because right now, I just can't, I don't know. I don't know if he would have gotten that money anywhere else, which is why it's a good idea to keep him there, or to stay there. But what is Kevin Love doing? He's staying on a team that can't win anymore. Not without LeBron. So, do you think this was the best move for him as a player that's trying to still contend and like still make money? Can we agree that he's not going to get this money anywhere else?
Yeah. I don't know. I know that's going to pay $30 million. I think he still gets upward of 20 though. I think he's still, he's shown that he is still a talented player. He has ups and downs.
That's why
Obviously,
he was traded to Cleveland.
People say, "Oh, we get LeBron, right? We're automatically contender." But everywhere LeBron's gone, there's an adjustment period. And I think when you take a guy like Love and just stick a superstar like LeBron on his team, there is an adjustment, but it's also Love, it's a different role that he's in. So I think that Kevin Love honestly got, screwed in Cleveland.
Yeah, he wants to go back to his old Kevin Love, maybe.
So I think with Cleveland, he's got the ability to do that. And as he gets older, and you have Sexton developing, and Rodney Hood potentially stepping up and developing a little more. You've got, J.R. Smith, who will likely phase out his career. You've got guys that, you've got a good mix of veterans and young players to transfer knowledge and really develop a team. So, yes, and, in the next couple of years, you'll probably lose Channing Frye, you'll lose George Hill,
Kyle
Korver,
38.
J.R. Smith, eventually. These guys will move on, right? But you'll still get their knowledge instilled in these young guys, and Sexton and Hood and Clarkson. So it's all about developing for the Cavs. So, yes, we move on from what are the Cavs' intentions with Kevin Love to really what are the Cavs' intentions in general. Because what does Kevin Love want for his future? I think it really depends on how Kevin Love views himself. Does Love view himself as the superstar that he was in Minnesota, or does he view himself as a guy who will slowly but surely fade out his career in Cleveland?
So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Kevin Love thinks that he got 4 years stolen from his career by playing in Cleveland? He didn't really have a choice. He was traded to Cleveland. So do you think that, obviously he didn't know this going into Cleveland, but like over the years, do you think he feels like he was robbed of 4 successful, 30-30 games? Because he had like at least one of those games where he had like 30 points and 20 or 30 rebounds. Do you think that sure, he won a championship, but as far as overall play goes, he was not himself. The question is, can he come back to it? And do you think he was like 4 years of his career were wasted?
Do I think he feels that way, or do I feel that way?
No, do you think he feels that way?
I think I don't know if he would admit it, but I feel like a small part of him would believe that.
A big part of it is that he won a championship, so he can't really downgrade any of his play, considering that 20 years from now you're gonna say, well, he got a ring.
Yeah, more than Iverson can say, but it's yes, it's 4 years wasted, but you look at it like what the Timberwolves could have been too, right? Like, okay, take away Wiggins, it's still Butler, Towns, and Jeff Teague with Kevin Love. That's a damn good team.
Yeah, but you also got to think of like chemistry issues. Maybe Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns really had something. I mean, this stuff, the hypotheticals, is super hard to do in sports because you just never know. Like, a lot of a team's success comes from like in the locker room and in practice,
which I think the Cavs struggled with.
Yeah, definitely. Isaiah Thomas did not help at all. In terms of like locker room personalities.
But they had problems before Isaiah. I mean, in Love and LeBron's first year, there were issues. And you look at the Cavs' issues over the last 4 years, a lot of it got blamed on Kevin Love. Which, some of them he's probably at fault for, but some of them he's not. So, if he stays in Minnesota, he was great in Minnesota. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
So, you'd like to think that he continues his play. I think Minnesota could have been something more than what they are now. A first-round exit, getting beat by the Rockets.
But they're getting there. They're getting better. I think they can advance.
But I think they'd be farther along the road if you kept Love. And I think it's a different kind of team if you kept Love. It's more of like a slasher-ish team right now.
The thing is, if you add Love to the team that they have now, you have shooters and you have inside play. That's the best of both worlds in today's NBA. Because a lot of teams either get stuck with one of each, or one of the two. They get either good shooting but no inside presence, or they have really good inside but they can't shoot the ball.
Or you're both, and you're a top team in the league.
Or you're neither. Cleveland. They didn't really have that much shooting, and they didn't have anybody tall enough to defend a good center. Even JaVale McGee. Like a JaVale McGee of the league. Like, they couldn't stop that. But I think that's enough Kevin Love talk. I hope that he continues he picks up where he left off, from Minnesota. But moving to Vince Carter, he's in his 21st year in the league, or he's entering his 21st year, right? So and he just signed a 1-year, $2.4 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. The question